Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Dovgan and today I'm going to talk about how to create the perfect ballroom position. And to be precise, I want to share with you what the level of the elbows, shoulders and your arms should be. Let's go! First of all, I want to say there is no such thing as perfection, but people always try to reach it. A lot of dancers on all levels are figuring out what the best proportion that works for them.
It's everything in proportion.
And they start questioning themselves. Do I need to go right, left, higher, lower? But there are basic rules that couples try to stick to. So let's review it. Before I start to talk about positions, I want to remind you where your arms should be placed. For boys, left arm is bent on elbow and you need to pick up your arm up and you hold the right arm of the lady. The right arm, you also bend an elbow, but your arm is not going up, it's staying here and you put it on the shoulder blade. Girls need to hold their right arm a little bit out and the left arm they put on the boy's arm. So boys have this kind of gap between shoulder and elbow, like that line. So you squeeze this muscle and put it right there. Okay, so this is a girl's position and this is a boy's position. I want to start from the elbow level of your arms. Ballroom teachers used to say, keep elbows on the level of your shoulders, but it's not quite clear definition because boys can do it a little bit lower sometimes and girls can do it a little bit higher. So how to find that perfect level for your position? First of all, when you pick up your elbows to the level of your shoulders, you don't want to look as though you're terrified or carrying something heavy.
It's heavy, it's wood.
The same as for girls. Okay? And the opposite, when you put your elbows lower, you don't want to look weak and that you don't have any power to keep your energy.
I don't have the energy for all that stuff.
I noticed that for kids usually works when they have elbows a little bit higher because it creates that kind of look that they're doing their best. And for adults, it's better when they put their elbows a little bit lower because you don't want to look that you're trying too hard. You're just like, and you want to be noticed. Look at me, look at me.
Look at this! Look at this! Look what I can do!
No, you want to be like look really confident and great. I recommend for boys to gauge their line from the bottom of the arms. So, if you will make a position and let's look at our bottom line. You see that we have one line from the armpit up to the elbow and here we also have this nice line. So check it there. For girls, I recommend to gauge their line from the upper line of the arms. So here we check from this bone of the shoulder and go up to this part of the arm, and here we're doing the same and we see that we have one line because if a girls take the bottom line, you see my elbow is going a little bit up, so it's not quite right, and here is the same. But if check the upper line, everything looks perfect. I think the best line for boys is when you continue the line from the level of your shoulders, and you are lucky if you have slopey shoulders. If you don't, on my next videos I will show you exercise, and doing these exercises you can improve your shoulder line. So subscribe and don't miss my video. So you have slopey shoulders, for example, and you kind of create that one line and then you close your arm, and here be careful, you don't want to look weak. Okay, so you kind of continue this line but still you want to stretch your elbows to the side. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. For girls, I recommend you to imagine that you have two shelves that are on equal level. Usually it's a little bit higher than the level of your shoulder. So let's imagine that we have one shelf, another shelf, and we put arms into those shelves. Please check that these shelves on the same level and you don't have kind of that position.
Put it on the shelf and I move on.
So in this case, that will be the perfect equal level. Let's move on to the left boy's arm and the right girl's arm. First of all, what you need to know, we have a rule that the boy's arm is going inside. Sometimes it can be a bit or a lot. It depends on proportion of your frame and body. And for girls, their arm is going always outside, not inside. So this is boy's arm and this is girl's arm. So like that. Why we do this? Because girls staying on the left side of the boy's body and she need to reach his arm. That's why she extend this arm. And boys need to reach her and she's staying here. So that's the one reason. And we have a lot of actually reasons, but we'll talk about this later.
We'll talk later.
You put your arm into the 45 degrees up to 75 sometimes. This rule works for both, for girls and for boys. Again, it depends on proportion because sometimes guys have too long arms or opposite. So that's you need to check, but never put your arm lower than 45 degrees. Especially in swing dances. And in tango, sometimes you can put a little bit lower, but don't put it up to 0 degrees. I saw in competitions that kids dancing like that, and it looks kind of odd, okay? So keep it up. And for girls also. But if talk about the angle of your elbow, it should look diagonally down. What I mean, if we'll draw the line, it will go diagonally down. Not straight down, because you see it looks kind of weak, and not too much up, because first of all it's 0 degree and it looks that you're dancing intense. And for boys, it's the same. Diagonally down, sharp angle, not here, not here. Okay, I think you got it. Talking about wrists, they should look diagonally. For guys, they are looking diagonally left, and for girls, they look diagonally right. So, how we can actually feel what is the right angle? I recommend you to stretch your arms a little bit higher than the level of your shoulders, and then continue this one line. Then take something little. For example, I will take my flash and put it between thumb and index finger. So in this case, you will also have the right distance between these two fingers, because sometimes you can feel like that you want to open this finger. Don't do that. And then you bend this elbow, but don't change anything here from your wrist to tip of your fingers. And then you have the right direction. And here let's do for boys. So you have the one line, you have nice fingers together, and then you bend the elbow, and as you can see, your thumb is going up, but it's not open too much and have the right proportion. Let's move on to right boy's arm and left girl's arm. I recommend you to start from this position when you touch your sternum with the tips of your fingers. And in this case, your elbows will look a little bit forward naturally, but try to stretch them as much as you can, but don't move your tips of your fingers from your sternum. So for boys, open the second part of your arm from elbow to tips of your fingers forward. And here you will feel that kind of volume feeling. Here also check that you don't have fully straight fingers and you kind of bend them a little bit to create that circle. So if I turn to you like that, you will see that my arm is going a little bit forward. We don't want to have that kind of look, so I recommend you here think that we don't want to stretch our elbow backward, but we want to stretch our elbow to the side. And here is the same with this arm. And imagine that two walls standing here, or you have two buttons on the sides and you want to push to these buttons. So instead of going backward, you stretch it to the side. You don't want to try to stretch it side and back, just to the side, and they will naturally go a little bit backward but right to the right spot. And about girl's left arm, we have the same position, then we turn our wrist like that, and then we move this arm forward. So here usually you need to have this wrist on the level of your shoulder, and that's what I recommend when you practice it alone, because you want to create that kind of window that people can see your nice neck and head. But when you will dance in a couple, sometimes your wrist can be between your neck or sometimes even on your lips. It depends how tall your guy is. So then you also have your arm a little bit around. So how to create this nice stretch line? You need to turn your chest, and here you go. We have this nice line. We have this nice posture. So let's sum up. Have a nice shoulder line with your elbows. The left arm is going inside. That right arm is creating volume, but we stretch elbows to the side. And your wrist is looking diagonally left. For girls, we have the nice line, and we check our upper line of the arms. Then our right arm is going diagonally out, our left arm is moving forward, and we have the nice level of the wrist that we can create this nice window. Just like that. I can tell you a lot more stuff what you need to do in your position, so go ahead and subscribe into my channel and don't miss my video about perfect position part 2. Bye! To keep your energy.
Yeah, keep going.
There is no such thing as perfection. Don't do it.
Again.
What did the best proportion work best for them? What did the best proportion work best for them? Too much best. I just want to keep going. Proportions work best for them. Let's do it again.